This is the Average to Savage podcast with Paul Guarino. Everyone and anyone, athletes, celebs, and much more.
What's up, everybody? I'm back for another episode of the Average Savage podcast. I got another special guest today, actor Carl McDowell. Carl, how's it going?
It's going great, man. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. Appreciate it.
Anytime, man.
Let's just jump right into it. Could you give us a little brief summary about yourself?
About me, Carl McDowell. I play TPD on HBO's Ballers. I'm the bassist for the band Left on Laurel, also known as The Sandwich, previously known as The Sandwich. That's it. I got a couple movies coming out, Rim of the World with King Batch, and I'd Like to Be Alone Now that just dropped on video on demand. So that's a little bit about me.
Yeah, that's dope. And I know you grew up in Chicago, so what was that like?
Growing up in Chicago was rough. It was rough, and it was rough because it's like such a violent, rough kind of town, and then it was also cold. So
yeah.
So it was just rough to grow up there. It was. I feel like it hardens you as a person. Chicago does, but I'm in LA now, and I've softened up a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. Were you
it was really hard growing up there, though.
Cubs fan or White Sox fan growing up?
All right, so I hear that you can only be one, but I'm both. I used to live across the street from Comiskey Park, which is where the White Sox play. So I would always walk over and go to White Sox games, and I love that team. But I would always watch the Cubs on TV, and I always wanted to go to those games. I love Wrigley Field, I love Andre Dawson. Yeah. So I love both teams. I'm a fan of both teams. When they won, I'll go back for both, especially the Windy City Classic. That's like my heaven right there, because I get to see the Sox and the Cubs play.
Yeah, for sure. How far apart are the stadiums?
They're really far. So the White Sox is on the south side, 35th and State, and Wrigley Field is on the north side, Addison.
Gotcha.
So it's like they're really far apart.
And like growing up, like what made you want to become like an actor and now / musician? I mean, watching TV, I remember being as a kid, I used to think like I want to be inside the TV. So just watching a lot of TV and listening to a lot of music. As a kid, also, I used to learn like every song on the radio, just so I wouldn't be bored. I just learned every one of them. Not as like a musician or anything. I would just like sing along to them. Mm-hmm. I never thought that I'd be an actor or a musician, especially the musician part. That just happened like 3 years ago. Yeah. But I didn't think. I thought I'd play football or some sort of sport. But in college, when I messed up my knee, is what prompted me to go to acting. After, like, how did you break into the acting industry? Well, when I was in college, they gave us a class, and it was theater practicum. And I never really went to this class. I would always, like, ditch. I ditched literally every day. I never went to the class. So the teacher called and said he wouldn't be able to give me a grade if I didn't do a play for him. Yeah. And he wanted me to be crooks of Mice and Men. And I didn't want to do the play, but my coach thought it'd be funny if I did the play and he brought the team. And so they made me do the play. I did it and I loved it. But even after like doing the play, I was still playing football. So I just like, that was not even an afterthought to me. Football was it. And then I guess after I hurt myself my last year of college, I was like, well, I did like that acting thing. Let's try that out. And so I came to LA. Gotcha. So it kind of just like happened. It just happened. You know. What position?
Happens, you just keep rolling with it.
Yeah, for sure. What position did you play?
I played quarterback, running back, wide receiver, cornerback, safety, punt return, and kick return. So I just
everything.
I just wherever they needed me, I'd go there.
Gotcha. Can you break down what it's like to go into an audition?
So the whole process is you go in, they'll have a reader there with you, and they'll have somebody taping, and that's pretty much it. So you'll go in and you prepare your lines, you prepare your stuff, and you go in and they'll read with you, put it on tape, and then you'll probably if you get a call back, then you'll go in and you'll read for like maybe the director or a producer or something like that. There'll be a few more people there. Mm-hmm. And then if you get the chemistry read, the person that you're supposed to be on screen with will be there along with the director and the producers, and then
you guys will do the scene for them, and then if they like you, then you probably will get the part.
Gotcha. So how did it come about that you got the part for TTD on Ballers?
The TTD, well, at first I went up for London Brown's part, Fat Reggie.
Yeah.
So I went in for that one. I read for that a couple of times. I think like 2 or 3 times maybe. And then I didn't get that part, obviously. And they took me the sides for TTD. And it was just like this stoner, and he was talking about the movie. He was talking about the movie Her. He was critiquing it. And so I got those sides, and I got really stoned, and I watched the movie Her, and I critiqued it. And I went in the next day, and that was what you got. But I did that. I had to do that a couple of times. I did that like maybe 2 or 3 times, and then it was a long layoff, probably like maybe 4 or 5 months before I heard that I got the part. So I forgot about it actually.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Didn't even think about it anymore. My manager called me and was like, "Hey, you got that part?" And I was like, "What are you even talking about?" And then the Miami thing with The Rock, and I was like, "Oh, all right." So that's how that went down.
So that's cool. So how often does that happen that you go on an audition, you don't hear back for a while, and then is that how it usually works?
Every audition, so I mean, I don't know how other actors do it, but like as soon as I'm finished with an audition, I kick it out of my head until either I get a call back or something like that. So you go in and audition, I'll get the audition piece, I'll work it out, I get it to memory, I play with it a little bit, and then I go in, do it, and I just kick it out of my head. I don't even think about it anymore unless I hear something back. If I hear something back, then I'll get back into it. If I don't, which is often, like you rarely hear. They don't call you and say you didn't get it. Yeah. You just don't hear anything. So that's kind of how I thought Ballers was. I was like, I must not have gotten that part.
Yeah.
5 months down the line, here you are. You got the part.
Hey, yeah, I feel you on that because I mean I applied to jobs before and it was like sometimes they get back to you and sometimes they just don't email you back at all, or they email you back months later and say, "Nah, you didn't get it."
It was this one movie I went up for, and they normally don't tell you that you didn't get the part. Yeah. So so this company, they emailed me and said, "Hey, we're gonna go in a different direction." Yeah. So we're sorry. Whatever. And I was like, okay, I got the email saying I didn't get the part. Then I get a call from this production company, and I'm like, oh, they must have made a mistake. What's happening? They call like, hey, did you get the email? You're going to go in a different direction.
Oh, man.
I was like, I'm rejected by this one movie. I thought that was kind of, I see why they do it the other way now. Like, just don't say anything. That rejection was kind of hard. Two times in one.
It's a little brutal. Yeah, I mean, I'd rather just get an email, but like, yeah, I got one phone call and I knew it was the guy's number, like from the job, right? And then, so I thought I got it because like they're not gonna call you to say you didn't get it.
They call otherwise.
Yeah, so they called me and said, "Paul, you didn't hit the nail on the head." I was like, "Oh, okay." I was about to throw my phone across the hallway that day.
He said you didn't hit the nail on the head?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he said you just didn't hit the nail on the head. I was like, "Oh, all right. You're calling me to tell me I didn't get it." Yeah, I was like, "All right, cool." I guess we'll talk later. God. Yeah, it was crazy. I was feeling some type of way that day. That's all I know. It was weird.
I mean, that's not constructive criticism. You didn't hit the nail on the head.
Yeah, I was like, oh, okay, I'm on to the next one.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that was the worst one for me. I'd rather get the email like you just said, or nothing at all. So yeah, and I know you just said back to when you said you didn't get the part of Fat Reggie. So did they? So how did that work out? Did they say like you didn't get it, but we want you to try out for this part?
No, they didn't say. I mean, I don't know. They probably talk more to my managers and agents about those things.
Yeah.
But I just didn't hear anything about Fat Reggie anymore after the second or third time I went in, and so I just assumed that I didn't get the part. Yeah. And then they sent me another one and was like, hey, these guys must really like you. They want you to come back in for this role. And I was like, okay, all right, just send it over. They sent it over, and I love the role, obviously.
Gotcha. I'm sure you get this a lot. Does anyone ever ask you, like, are you like TTD?
Oh, yeah, they always ask. Am I like, and I am. I'm exactly like TTD. It's so weird. every once in a while you'll see like the perfect marriage between part and person.
Yeah.
And this is it. Like, I mean, I think I am TTD and TTD is me, with the exception of he wears a lot of jewelry. I don't wear any jewelry or watches or anything like that. I'm not flashy.
Yeah.
But, and he drives fancy cars. I'm not that guy either. Other than that, like, I mean, I'm all for my friends. I'm always about helping out. I'm always quick with a joke. I'm always, wearing cool T-shirts like the PG Sports one. I'm always getting stoned. Like all of these things you see in TTD is pretty much me. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And what does TDD stand for something?
I mean, this season, Jay Glazer named him Terrence Tyrone Darby. But other than that, it doesn't stand for anything. Season 2, I think, somebody asked in the show, like in one of the episodes, and he said it was time to dance. And I was told a story about a football player who, this is the real story of TTD.
Yeah.
There was a football player, and his girlfriend had cheated on him. Yeah. And he went to her dorm and said, "Come out, it's time to die." And his teammates heard about it, and they kept calling him "Time to Die," and then it shortened up to TTD.
Gotcha. So that's crazy right there.
Huh?
I said that's crazy right there.
That is crazy.
So what about when people run into you in public? Do they run up and say, "Hey, what's up, TTD"?
Oh yeah, TTD, Ricky Jared's boy. Yeah. They call me all kinds of stuff.
So is it like it's like normal now? Like you're like responsive to it?
Yeah, I'm responsive to it. A lot of people like point and be like, "I know you from somewhere," and like, "Do you watch Ballers?" And, oh yes, so that happens too. But I'm really receptive of it. I'm kind of just weird by nature. If somebody's looking at me and I don't know who you are, I'm kind of like Mr. Chicago, and I think I'm kind of like, "What are you looking at? Why are you looking at me like that?"
Yeah.
And then they're like, "Oh, you that guy?" And I'm like, "Oh, yeah." Yeah. So I think my weirdness by nature is kind of off-putting, but once we figure it all out, I'm really receptive to it.
Gotcha. So when you go back to Chicago, like, do more people know who you are now?
I haven't been to Chicago.
Yeah.
It's too cold. I go into I don't know. I haven't been since like this is all taken off. I haven't really been home. I went home for a Bears game, and I got a lot of love at the game. Mm-hmm. But I mean, just walking around Chicago, I haven't done it yet.
Gotcha. What's it like working with the cast of Ballers?
Hilarious, man. It's fun. All of them good, cool people. John David, Rob Corddry, Dwayne, everybody. Just really cool people. It's so much fun to go on our set. Like, we're supposed to be working now. Yeah. And I'm like restless right now. I just want to go back to work. We don't start back until April this year. Yeah. But this is normally around the time we would be going back. And I can't take it. I need to go in. I need to go do some acting.
Yeah, for sure. And do you watch the show? Like, do you go back and watch the seasons?
I do. I love it. It's one of my favorite shows, to the point where when I get the scripts for the show, I only read my parts.
Oh, okay.
Because I don't want to know what happens until I watch it.
Gotcha. And is it weird? Is it weird watching yourself?
It is weird. It is weird. I mean, at some point, I hope I'll get used to it. Yeah. Because I'll only watch the episode maybe like once. Maybe twice if like, because we have to like live tweet or something like that. Yeah. So I'll watch it those 2 times and then I'm done with it just because I don't want to look at myself anymore.
Gotcha. And what about like, how long does it take to film like a whole season of Ballers?
Like 3 or 4 months. So it's kind of like 10 days per episode.
Okay. And 10 days for one, like 10 days for 22 minutes?
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's normally scheduled out about 10 days per episode. That's pretty much with every show, really. Gotcha.
And I know at the beginning you mentioned you're got some new movies and shows coming up, so you want to talk about what those are?
One came out on iTunes on the 8th. It's called "I'd Like to Be Alone Now." It has Jack McGee, Mindy Sterling, Sam Levine, David Finn, just a bunch of cool actors, Vanessa Lenges, Christopher, I forgot his last name. But it's just a bunch of, it's Sam Levine's character. His wife and kids died in a car accident, and his whole family, and I'm one of his best friends. Mm-hmm. We go over to support him.
Yeah.
And supporting him, we just getting in his way and we just flubbing up everything. It's a dark comedy.
Mm-hmm.
It's serious and it's funny sometimes. But we just getting in his way, and he'd like to be alone. He just want to be alone, and we won't leave him alone. So he nails himself into a room. He just wants to be alone. And it's a cool little movie. And it just came out the other day. And then we have The Rim of the World coming out. This is also a cool movie. It's McGee, Wonderland Productions. They did The Babysitter. If you ever saw this movie?
Yeah.
On Netflix. It's pretty cool. So it's the same people that did that movie. And this is kind of like Stranger Things.
Okay.
So it has 4 kids as the lead. And it's kind of like, I don't know, aliens or something like that instead of a monster. So, and then me and Andrew Batchelor, or King Batch, we are like camp counselors. And we kind of just like do stupid stuff the whole time.
Yeah.
Just say stupid things. And so that's going to be a good one. It's coming out sometime this year.
Gotcha. That's going to be on Netflix?
That'll be on Netflix, yeah.
Is that your Netflix debut?
No. Babysitters was on Netflix as well.
Oh, gotcha. What kind of like, I want to say like dream role do you want to be? Like, you want to be in like a big time movie, or like what's your goal?
I would love to. I mean, big time movie, TV series, anything is all right with me. But my dream role, I'm thinking. I don't know if you know who Otis Redding is. I'm a big Otis Redding fan. And I'd like to do his biography.
Okay.
That would be fun for me.
I think I heard of him. I'm just not really sure about him.
Yeah. He's like an old singer from back in the day that was like, he was a hard worker. He only missed one show in his whole entire life, and then it was because his plane had crashed.
Okay. That's cool.
And he was just like, he made this really good music. He was a really fun guy, and he was like a workaholic.
Gotcha.
I'd like to bring his life to screen.
Yeah, that'd be dope. And before we get off the subject of acting, go into musicianship, what advice would you give young actors or actresses?
Love the craft. Like, love the craft more than you like money or fame.
Yeah.
Be patient and invest in yourself. Like, invest in yourself. Nobody will, like, really take you serious if you're not willing to invest in yourself.
Yeah, for sure. Actually,
and know that it takes time, too, because, I mean, really, you got to really have that patience. Nothing happens overnight.
Yeah, for sure. And one last question about the acting stuff. Did Ballers, like, change your life?
Yeah, it did. Yeah, it totally did.
Just opened up, like, more doors and stuff?
The first season, just being on that first season just changed. I don't know if it's this show or if it's the actors, like being with The Rock and John David and all these actors. I guess if you're on screen with them, people start to put you up there as well, and it really does just change your life. Like, it does.
Sure. For sure. So, how'd you get into your band, Left on Laurel?
Left on Laurel, the sandwich.
A.k.a. the sandwich.
Left on Laurel, so, I play sports with my friends, Michael Rosenbaum being one of them. And so we would play sports every Saturday, and he would always say, we should go in my basement and jam. Just jam. Let's play some covers in my basement. And he played guitar, his best friend Lally. His best friend Tom Lally, of 30 years, also plays guitar, so he's in the band. We have a friend named Rob Danson who played with us. He's a great guitarist. He was in a bunch of bands before. And then we had my friend Greg Coolidge, who wrote Ride Along. He was our drummer at first. Well, he was the drummer at first. And then he was writing movies and stuff, so he couldn't hang out all the time. And then our friend Kent started playing the drums. He never played the drums before, but he just started playing the drums. And then they told me if I came that they would teach me how to play the bass. So I would go over there and hang out with them, and they would teach me how to play the bass. At first, I learned like every note on one line. So on the E chord, you can play literally every note. So I would just do that on that one chord. Then they start teaching me like how to move around and like what would sound good while we playing these things.
And so they taught me how to play the bass, I would say 3 years ago. And here we are. Now we are about to put out an album in February.
Yeah.
We toured Germany 2 times. We played the Troubadour, the Love Street Festival, and Hotel Cafe in L.A.
Oh, that's crazy.
Sorry?
I said that's crazy. You've been international already.
Yeah. We invited back to go to Germany again this November. So we're gonna go play a festival out there again.
That's dope. What was Germany like?
I'm sorry.
What was Germany like?
So we went twice. The first time we toured, so we went to Berlin, we went to Cologne, we went to Frankfurt. We played 4 shows in 3 different cities.
Yeah.
And each city was its own thing. Like Berlin was the first city we went to, and it was the city that never sleep. It was like the New York of Germany.
Yeah.
Frankfurt was more businessy. Right? Yeah, Frankfurt was more like businessy. It was like all downtown kind of. And Cologne was all party. So it was like, I don't know, it was like New Orleans. So you can walk down the street, it's all bars. It's kind of like a college town.
Gotcha.
And they all had their own different feels, but like the shows were all different, and they were all fun. And then this last one we just did, we went to Frankfurt, and we stayed in Frankfurt for 4 days, and we just did the festival there. But it was really fun. It's like a lot of bars, it's a lot of history. Obviously, it's a lot of history, but it was really cool.
Yeah, definitely sounds interesting. And you being an actor and musician, that's kind of crazy. You got a busy schedule and stuff like that. So, you ready for some fun questions?
Yeah.
So, what do you like to do in your free time?
Either watch movies, play video games, learn the bass, watch sports,
Gotcha.
go to concerts.
What video game you playing now?
I've been playing that NBA 2K lately, but I also got that MLB The Show. I only play the sports games.
Okay, yeah.
My son he has like Red Dead Redemption and Spider-Man and all these other games. I try them every once in a while, but I'm itching to get back to the sports game.
Yeah, for sure. That's how I am too. Yeah, for sure. What's something that people don't know about Carl?
Something that people don't know about Carl. I don't like twerking. I'm not a big fan of twerking.
Breaking news: Carl does not like twerking.
I don't like twerking. I feel like everybody loves twerking, and I'm like, why are they doing this? I don't like it. So I'm not a big fan of twerking.
Okay, all right, I'll take it. How about this one? If you could eat one sandwich for the rest of your life, which kind of sandwich would it be?
Okay, so, and I pretty much eat this sandwich every day. Egg, ham, cheese, and Miracle Whip. Pretty much every day I make this sandwich.
Oh, you make it yourself?
I make it myself, yeah. I love this thing.
Oh, man. What about top 3 movies of all time?
Top 3?
Yeah. You want to go top 5?
Ooh, I don't know if I can go top 5. The Doors movie, Forrest Gump, and one of the Fridays probably.
Oh, Friday? All right.
That's so hard.
They just put that on Netflix.
So hard. Huh?
They said they just put that on Netflix.
The Friday movies?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would definitely say one of the Fridays.
What about,
It's so hard. I love so many movies. It's so hard.
Yeah, no, yeah. It's just, I had to give you that question. What about, are you binge watching any Netflix series?
I'm watching Arrested Development. I've never seen that before, so I'm like on the 4th season of that.
Okay. A little throwback.
I'm waiting for Game of Thrones to come back.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I haven't really got into that. I might try to get into it, though.
Say it again?
I said I might try to get into that. I haven't really watched it before. I watched it a couple times.
Have you not got the Game of Thrones?
Nah, I don't know. I gotta see. You recommend it?
If you watch like the first few episodes, it's boring as hell because it's like setting up and you got to find out all the houses, all the characters, all of this, and it's a million of them.
Yeah.
But once you get into the action, oh my, that show is a thing. I'm not even I don't like history shows. I don't like castle shows. I don't like any of that type of stuff.
Yeah.
Not even an action person. I don't know. I've never really seen the Harry Potters or any of the superhero movies and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But Game of Thrones, man, is insane. And I'm starting to get into
the superhero movies. I watch Guardians of the Galaxy and like Deadpool and Ant-Man.
Yeah.
So I'm starting to get into these a little bit, but I really just like funny or real kind of movies.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think the superhero movies sometimes, like, I gotta go see them, but like most of the time I'm like, come on, like how many more are you gonna come out with?
Every 5 minutes is a new superhero movie.
Like I just saw Aquaman and that one was like pretty good, but like other than that, it was really good. I thought it was because I think that one was like different than the other superhero movies, probably because it was just underwater, I guess you'd say.
Was it underwater the whole time?
Nah, it was like half an hour.
Nah. Okay.
Yeah, you gotta go check it out.
Do you recommend it?
Yeah, definitely.
I'll see it. I was kind of skeptical, like I don't know.
I'm not into superhero movies, but I would check it out. Basically, I think if they just didn't say like the superhero thing, like I'd probably just go see it anyways. But like, there's just like remember when they first came out with them? Like I'd say like the first big one was probably Spider-Man, and that was dope. Like the original one with like Tobey Maguire, that one was like dope, I thought. And then they just I don't know, they just made it too much. It was just too much.
Yeah, I mean it's like the same movie. It's really like the same movie, just
and now they're remaking them all. Like the Spider-Man, they made Hulk like 3 times. Like, come on.
Yeah. I saw the Infinity Wars.
Yeah.
I saw that one. That was kind of good, but it was way too long.
Yeah. That's the other thing I saw. I forgot which one was coming out. I remember like everyone on Twitter was going wild when they were like, "What? It's gonna be like 3 chains long? Like, what's going on?" And then some people are like, "Yo, whatever. I'll sit there for 3 hours and I'll watch it back to back."
What?
These people are crazy.
I'm so upset with movies now. Like every movie is 2 hours and some change.
Yeah. No, they put it to like 3. What about how
3? Oh man, I can't do it.
Yeah, that's crazy. What's your favorite social media platform?
Instagram. I like Instagram.
Yeah.
The other ones are, I don't know. I'm not so big into Facebook. I used to be on Facebook a lot, but I rarely get on Facebook now. Twitter is way too fast for me.
Yeah.
I can't. I don't know what's happening on Twitter while I'm on there. Like every time I post something to my Instagram, it goes to my Facebook and then to my Twitter. So it might seem like I'm doing those 2 things, but I really just do Instagram.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I appreciate you coming on the show and wish you best of luck in your career. And
thank you, man. Anytime.
Yeah. And where can people find you on social media?
On Instagram, I'm Carl D. McDowell. On Facebook, I'm Carl McDowell. On Twitter, I think I'm Carl D. McDowell.